joint statement from Australian Oromo Community Association in Victoria, Somali State Community of Australia, United Australian Harari Council, and Sedama Friendship Association in Australia. Ethiopia's tumultuous history goes back to the early 19th century, where Menelik's territorial expansion and aggression of Harari, Oromo, Afar, Somali, Sedama, and other people in southern Ethiopia constitutes crimes against humanity. These people not only lost their native land through belligerence, but have also been subjugated to tyrant rule for over a century. Following Menelik's despotic and tyrant ruling came another authoritarian feudal ruler, Haile Selassie, whose ruling elites continued their forceful subjugation, rampant ethnic oppression, and discrimination across the whole country. The recent assassination of Oromo artist Hachalu Hundessa in the capital of Ethiopia, Addis Ababa, whose music expressed brutal oppression and wavered intergenerational traumatic experiences in Ethiopia, is not only a heinous act but also a despicable sign of reactionaries' accumulated anger against socially, culturally, and politically marginalized and oppressed people in Ethiopia. Immediately following the assassination, the Oromo youth toppled the Ras Mekonnen's effigy in the city of Harar. After this historical event, we have seen with dismay the statements circulating on social media by a group called Ye Harar Lijot Without Borders, or generally known as YHLWB. According to what is written on their website, YHLWB is a registered charity organization in the state of Ohio, with no political or religious affiliation. If these groups are claiming to have no political or religious affiliation, it is fair to ask why they chose to make statements on social media and news outlets accusing the protesters' actions in Harar. One thing for sure is that YHLWB is not speaking on behalf of Harari, Afar, Oromo, and Somali people who have been subjugated for over a century under several tyrant rulers in Ethiopia. Even though there are contrasting points of views on this statue for the supporters of post-tyrannical rule that the toppled statue serves as a symbol of pride, for the Afar, Harari, Oromo, and Somali people, it is a reminder of subjugation that reduced them to perpetual servitude and selective trauma. Celebrating the acts of genocide and praising symbols of tyranny cannot remain as part of our history. We know and understand that removing the statue won't solve the problem. Therefore, the current Ethiopian government needs to re-examine Ethiopian history through the people who have experienced brutalities and atrocities that have been documented or deliberately distorted if the government is honest in upholding justice and equality in Ethiopia. The debate about restoration of past despotic rulers' statue raises serious questions about peaceful coexistence in Ethiopia. We need fundamental shift in how history is taught in educational institutions to the new generation. In the current climate of social media or even in government-controlled entities in Ethiopia, the reactionary forces appear to have the upper hand. It is about time the progressive forces who fought and fell while fighting the oppressive imperial, feudal, and fascist regimes come together and say that their sacrifices have not been lost in vain. This is the era that our people should not be treated as second-class citizens in their own country. We will not rest until all symbols of oppression, both statues and monuments, are removed from public spaces and institutional and systemic reform is realized. Victory for all oppressed.